Uh-oh. The government heard me talking about living in an SUV. They're coming to get me, guys. They're coming to get me.
They're everywhere. Yeah, they're on whisper mode, so you can't hear them.
What's going on? So it's another lovely night build video, and so I just got done remounting the TV because before it looked really messed up, but now, I mean, this thing is super solid. It doesn't look half bad, I'd say. I do have a new device that, unfortunately, I thought I had another HDMI cable, and I think I did, but the shielding came off of it somewhere, so I had to order another one, which that will be here in the morning. But let me show you guys. So I have this HDMI switch, and basically I just hook up my Roku device, and then I'll plug in the PS5 into here, and then that way when I'm doing whatever, you know, I want to switch it over, all I gotta do is turn the PS5 on, press that, and it'll switch over, as you can see, to the second port. But there's no signal, so we're going to switch back over to the Roku, and we are all set on that. We're practically done. I mean, there's really nothing that much more to do on the Xterra. So that's done. So, I mean, it's not anything flashy, but I think it'll work. Not bad at all. All right, so just want to talk to you guys about life and why I choose an SUV over a van. I can have some AI prompt on Chat GPT, you know, formulate a big speech for me, and I can tell you guys blah, 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 but I'm just more me if I just explain why I'm doing it rather than having some Chat GPT thing tell me, script tell me, or tell you, I should say. But I live in an SUV or travel in an SUV for many reasons. It starts off with the fact that I've had a van, I've had two vans in fact, and my own personal preference is I feel more comfortable and safer. Let me move this way a little bit. Anyways, there's Lacey. Hi, Lacey. Lacey, hi. She's like, I'm eating, leave me alone. But anyways, yeah, I feel more comfortable in an SUV. It is just me, and maybe in time, but vans, I feel have been going on for so long that maybe it's time for a change to SUV style of nomad living. Now, obviously, if it's just me, then something like this is fine. But if you have more than one person or whatever, you know, I mean, there are ways of making it work with two people. You know, definitely not this build, but if you are, you know, looking into getting nomad life and you're a solo traveler, whether you're male or female, it doesn't matter. I would strongly look into SUVs. One, again, the size, compactability, you can fit so much into a small rig, and you don't need all the extra space, which will probably usually end up just being, you know, storage for something, and you're carrying more stuff when you're meant to be a nomad, light on your feet, light on your travels, not carrying too much. You know, a lot of the stuff that I have is just stuff that I don't absolutely have to have, but I choose to have for the sake of convenience. And you know, everybody has a fridge, everybody has solar, you know, and everybody, you know, probably has a TV of some sorts. Me, I have a monitor, but that acts as my TV. But when it comes to building, you know, van stuff, you need to build to your needs and your needs only. It really just comes down to you, comes down to the individual. Vans are, since 2020, vans have skyrocketed in price. A lot of vans that I find out there are, you know, 10,000 for like 120,000 miles, or barely over 100,000 miles. I've looked at different places all over the states. Seems to be pretty generic. Even when you look for something with a little higher mileage, I mean, you get what you pay for. Whereas an SUV, you can find an SUV usually for a lot cheaper than that, around the $3,000 to $4,000 range. You know, and it can be anywhere from like 80 to 100, 120,000 miles. It just depends on the market or where you're at. But like, it's budget friendly. The cost of the build is way less than what you'd have to spend in a van to, you know, do this or that. And you know, you got the more room you have, the higher your cost is going to be for your build, unless you just do a no build and throw it all in. So but having an SUV makes it not as noticeable for the van life trend. As a nomad, you're traveling, you're living the nomad lifestyle, right? And people see a van in the parking lot with solar, they're like, nomad, van life, you know, RV or whatever, you know. And with an SUV, they may, I don't know, like they may or may not say the same thing. You're just like, huh, that's interesting. You got solar on his roof. I wonder if he goes camping, rather than being like, oh no, it's a van, they have solar, you know. Living in an SUV is a lot tougher. I basically have everything that I would need, without the exception of a bathroom. You know, and I will, for when I go boondocking out in the middle of nowhere, like out in the middle of the desert or something like that, I'll have to set up a tent and dispose in a collapsible, that's what I meant to say, collapsible toilet and all that kind of stuff. But like, you know, I sleep super good in this. I'm almost 6 foot, I'm 5'11".
Power off.
I guess I wasn't using my Bluetooth speaker. But you know, like I'm 5'10" and a half, 5'11", somewhere around there, and like I sleep comfortable, you know, and there's plenty of room. It may not look like it, but once you're around it and you get inside of it, there's so much more room. And you know, you can essentially do the same thing. You can take the seats out, you can, you know, strip the inside, and you know, build it out however you want. There's a lot to it when it comes to choosing your vehicle. Me personally, I cannot drive a big RV of any kind. I know Roy and Becky Travels, they have an RV, and Tim for Time for Exploring has an RV. Tim for man, my brain, I am tired. Yeah, CR View has an RV, which his is starting to look like a space station with all the solar panels they're putting on them and all that. So he's a good guy, good fun channel to watch. I'll check that out. I'll put a link in the description below. But yeah, it's just insane how much like solar you can put on a roof for an SUV, and like I found more powerful panels I can put up there. So I mean, because on an SUV you obviously don't have the real estate on top as you would, you know, bigger rigs and vans and stuff, but there are ways of getting around that. And we'll be getting into that here in the next few months. But for me, an SUV feels a lot more comfortable because I need something with power. I need something that's going to get me over a hill or through whatever, you know, get me over that, you know, or through that mud or whatever. I don't need to have a van and get stuck, you know, in a ProMaster or a Sprinter van. Now, this Xterra, unfortunately, is not 4x4. I thought it was when I bought it. And I was more caught up in just getting it and getting gone because I needed a vehicle, because the Jeep Liberty I had at the time was crapping out due to the transmission going out, and well, I needed a home. But I still drive through 4x4 areas when I need to. I am going to be outfitting the outside of this rig by putting on like side carriers for fuel, and then also for racks and stuff to, you know, if I get stuck or something, I can just pull the rack out. And the government heard me talking about living in an SUV. They're coming to get me, guys. They're coming to get me. You probably can't see anything, but anyways, they didn't get me. Sorry. But yeah, but the cost of fuel, you know, the fuel economy is probably better. I get an easy 22 miles, I think, in this on the highway, and a solid 17 on the street. You know, now a van can hold more gas, but because the tank's bigger, but I don't spend as much as I don't think, you know. And yeah, I don't know, I'm kind of tired. But when it comes to, you know, choosing RV versus, you know, van versus living in a trailer, an SUV, like getting a trailer with an SUV, that's a good choice, you know. You know, there's all kinds of ways to do it. Just do what's affordable for you and what works for you. This Xterra is still very, very young, and in mileage, runs strong. Only had one previous owner that took really good care of it. I'm doing my best to take care of it. You know, just proper oil changes and keeping, you know, changing out that filter, and you know, really making sure that I have what I need versus what I would want. As long as you keep things simple, living nomad life is very simple, and it's very easy to save money, and that's another video. But you know, just stick with what you have. You know, if you have a car and you enjoy the car, then the hell you know what other people think, and do the car thing. But yeah, this is what this is the second SUV I've owned, and The Jeep Liberty I had before was a lot smaller, and I managed that. And I'm going to plan on to do the same thing with this one. So, but yeah, that's about it for this video. So let me know what are your thoughts. Would you live in an SUV over a van? And if not, why? If you would live in a van or an SUV, what would you choose for your vehicle to, live on the road and, go through, the terrain, so to speak, and everything. But yeah, for me, it's SUVs for the foreseeable future. I was wanting a van at one point, but I think it's going to be an SUV. So, but anyways, keep me posted on like what you guys want to see, if there's anything you're interested in me talking about. Otherwise, I'll just pick random stuff. But yeah, lights are up, and that's good enough for me for tonight. Getting this TV mount was a real pain in the butt, but we got it. I don't know why I did that. I just did that. But anyways, I'm gonna quit yapping. You guys be good to yourselves, be good to others, and until next time, bye.